Hey, yo, what's up? This is your boy Asiago back on 3 a.m. Thoughts. Shoot, so ironically, actually, it's not 3 a.m. It's almost 5:30. But shoot, but this time around, like I'm really like I've only been awake for like maybe. Let's see, I woke up at 10 p.m. So there's 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so I've really only been awake for like almost 7.5 hours now. Shoot, so back in my last podcast, I explained that like by the time I actually started recording, it was like 1. So by the time I actually finished, posted it, and everything was said and done, it was like 2 p.m. And you know, I literally didn't go to bed until 2 p.m. God, it just felt so weird, like barely going to bed at the middle of the day. Because I mean, I've slept late before, but that's definitely like the latest I've ever slept. I mean, and I'm no stranger to I'm certainly no stranger to, like, you know, staying up late or staying up for long periods of time. I mean, hell, freaking. I remember during my first year of college. Shoot, I would have a lot of homework, but at the same time, because of my job, you know, I would have to stay late quite often, you know, just to get stuff done. So a couple of times, you know, I make compromises. Shoot, grab the strongest energy drink, or at least the energy drink that had the strongest effect on me, which would be Red Bull. I would take some of that. I will drink quite a bit of it, and and stay up for like 36 hours at a time. Shoot, like literally just nonstop, you know, getting up, you know, spending as much time as I can getting my homework done, and then I would have to, like, literally on that same note go to work and then come back just to finish some more stuff, and then as of right now, 36. Actually, I think 36 for a while was my like absolute limit. I think I managed to reach like 39 or 40 at one point, but I think, like, by the time I actually reached that point, I don't even think it was because it was for school anymore. I think it was just because I was just acting a fool or something like that. I don't know, but that was a while ago. But anyways, but even then, I've never fallen asleep in the middle of the day. Like, I've always fallen asleep when it's dark outside. I mean, hell, like, too, and definitely more recent days, I have fallen asleep, or I normally fall asleep around like 6 or 7, in which by that time, or at least during daylight savings time, you know, it's, you know, it's the sunrise. You know, you see the sunrise up. I mean, hell, and normally, like, if I sleep quote unquote late, it's usually like around 9 a.m. because I'm just, you know, playing video games or watching anime or just doing other stuff, you know, until 9 a.m. And certainly I wouldn't be staying up, you know, so damn late, or I wouldn't be sleeping until so late unless it was my off day. And thankfully it was my off day. I mean, definitely, like, if I had to work today, I definitely would not have done it. So I mean, there's that. I definitely would not have freaking you know, did all that stuff I did this morning. Oh, that's a weak burp. But anyways, shoot. But you know what, though? When I woke up, it was 10 p.m. and it just felt so weird because initially I wanted to wake up at 8. At like around 8:15, have a good 6 hours sleep, but it felt nice to have those extra 2 hours. And damn, like, it felt so, like, almost surreal to wake up at 10 p.m. Now, I'm pretty sure for people that work like overnight shifts and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure it's like I mean, it's no big deal, you know, waking up and when it's dark outside. But for me, though, because again, like, most of the time, by the time I sleep and wake up, either the sun is like, well, I mean, by the time I sleep, the sun is barely coming up, and by the time I wake up, the sun's already up. I mean, hell, every time, like, even back when, you know, when I had a more of a normie schedule, even when I would wake up, the sun would already be up. But thing is, though, it's just that it has honestly been like a long while since I actually, like, woke up and the sky was still dark outside. Now, I didn't wake up at night back in the day, but back when I was going to school, I actually woke up at I would actually wake up at like 5 in the morning and stuff, you know, to get ready for school. Here's the thing though, and just waking up at 10 today or this morning. I mean, not this morning, just waking up at freaking 10. This night, man. Like it just reminded me of the times when I would wake up super early for school and it wouldn't be just so I can get my clothes on, brush my teeth and do all that stuff. But I would purposely wake up like super damn early. Now, back in high school, I actually started doing this in the last year of middle school, 8th grade. And even at that point, school didn't actually start till around 8:30. Yeah, so usually school didn't start around until around 8:30ish. But so literally, at the latest, all it would really need to do is just wake up at I don't know, 8 o'clock at the latest, and then just grab all my stuff. Grab all my stuff and go outside, because it really doesn't take me that long to actually get ready. Now, sometimes I will wake up a little bit earlier, maybe 7 or 7:30, just so, because it's the morning, and like I say, and for any kid, waking up super damn early, you're gonna want to move slow. So, and shoot, and I was never part of any football team or I was part of band class, but I was never part of marching band or anything like that, to where I actually had to go in super early and do practice or whatever. But I remember back in the day, I would actually wake up at 5 something a.m. Let's see, because here's the thing, if I wanted to do extra stuff during the day, and because back in the day, I had I wasn't too strict of a bedtime. For the longest time, my bedtime was freaking 9 p.m. and it really sucked. Even back then, having a bedtime at 9 p.m. It was just freaking terrible. Because I really wouldn't get tired until 10. And damn, 9 p.m., when it came to Adult Swim or freaking Nick at Night or whatever, that's when the best stuff came on. And I'm like, man, I can't stay up to watch this. On the weekends I could. Near the summer I definitely could. But I couldn't do any of that stuff during the school year. And man, again, for the longest time, my bedtime, me and my sister's bedtime, it was always at freaking 9 p.m. And, you fast forward, by my senior year of high school, by my junior year of high school, it was extended to 11. But still, though, damn, freaking 11. I think actually in the middle of high school, the middle of high school, maybe 9th or 10th grade, it was officially 10 p.m. because again, around that time I actually started bringing a lot more homework in, and they say, and here's the thing, I don't care how long it takes me, I don't care I don't care how short it takes me. I've always been that kind of guy to where if I got homework, I don't want to go to bed until it's all done, because I don't want to have to worry about it. Now sometimes, I'll be it would be late, and I wouldn't be finished with it yet. But I would come up with a plan. Hey, freaking math class is the last class I have to go to, so might as well freaking do it. Just finish all my regular assignments, and do it in my free time. Do it at lunch. Do it before school. Do whatever I need to do. Just get it done before it's time to turn it in. But most of the time though, I wouldn't want to get all my stuff done before I go to bed, just so I don't have to worry about nothing come the next day. And it was all good, it was all fine and stuff, but the thing is though, is that I still wanted extra time to play to play my video games, or to watch my Netflix shows, or to even do whatever. Hell, and this all started back whenever okay, so back in my little devious days here. Not gonna lie, I still do this today, but I really can do it whenever I want. But the thing is that even back in freaking 8th grade, man, like 8th grade is when I really started like actually like masturbating. And so what I would do is that like I would wake up at like 3 in the morning. Yes, freaking I would it would be the few times where I would willingly go to bed at 9. Sometimes sometimes I'd go to bed at freaking 8. You know, and shoot, everybody would be weirded out. You know, why are you sleeping so damn early? And I'm like, well, I'm just tired. But in actuality, I planned on freaking masturbating early in the morning. So like I would wake up at 3. And I would set my alarm for 3 o'clock. You know, once my alarm went off, man, I'll be just so excited, just like sexually excited and horny. I would quickly like turn the alarm off, and it would be hilarious because like freaking, oh shoot, yeah, I would easily wake up at 3 in the morning, you know, to freaking play with myself before school. Oh, but then like, you know, but I can't even bring myself to wake up at freaking like a freaking 7:45, you know, to actually get ready for school. But I don't know. I mean, then again, it's kind of obvious why, but anyways, shoot, so I'll wake up at freaking 3, and I'll be like, it's fully sexually charged, it's fully ready, and then I'll have to sneak, you know, I'll have to sneak across the hallway to get to the restroom, because here's the thing, you know, nobody knew that I was waking up at freaking 3. Nobody, yeah, see, I didn't want anybody to know, because here's the thing, you know, because I'm gonna be doing my thing. I don't want anybody else knowing, and I don't want to get lectured in the freaking morning about doing it. And plus, you know, at 3 a.m., like, shoot, like the last thing my parents would expect from me is to wake up around that time. Like, if my parents would have caught me being up at 3 a.m., even by telling them the truth that I actually woke up at that time, they wouldn't believe me. Even if they clearly saw me sleeping early, they'd be like, no, we're not gonna believe you. You stayed up late playing video games, didn't you? Man, those damn video games. You know, yeah, and that's a different story of how they always would blame video games for every little thing I did. But anyways, so, you know, and then too, you know, I don't want them asking the question, you know, why are you up so damn early? You know, school doesn't start for another 5 hours. What can you possibly be doing? And shoot, I mean, the things I would be doing, I don't want to tell you. So, I mean, it started with that, you know. I'd want to, you know, beat my meat before school, and shoot. So, you know, I wake up at 3 in the morning, you know, pleasure myself, and I'd usually be done around like 5. And then by that time, you know, I just you know, eat, play on my phone, and do all that stuff. But then I realized something. Shoot, okay, maybe I don't have to wake up at 3 in the morning to do this, but what if I just played, but with all this extra time that I got, why not freaking just like play video games or something before school? And the thought really did excite me, and also it gave me that little boost of motivation in the morning to actually, you know, wake up. Because I mean, you know, waking up, I mean, sure, yeah, school was the one place where I saw all my friends. You know, it's where I get to spend time with them, and plus, you know, school was the only place I could actually see my freaking crushes and stuff. So it's not like I didn't have a reason to be happy to go over there. But the thing is, it's still school, you know, and I'm still a kid. You know, I don't want to be bound to a freaking classroom all day. You know, plus, you know, there's, you know, everybody's got those classes they hated. Mine was always math, even back when I was actually good at it. Like, I still hated math, and again, you know, I just hate being bound to freaking a desk all day, you know, doing math problems or whatever. Like, it was boring, you know. I didn't want to go to school, so really nothing motivated me to get up, except for the fact that if I didn't go to school, I would get my butt whooped, so by my mom. So I had to freaking do what I had to do. But when I told myself, hey, you know, why not freaking wake up super early in the morning to play Grand Theft Auto or whatever, that would excite me. I mean, definitely not in the same way as when I woke up at 3 in the morning, but waking up at freaking 5 to play my PS3, shoot, that was exciting. That was exciting as hell, man. I started coming up with all these plans of what I wanted to play in the morning, or sometimes I'd switch between consoles, because I think at the time I had like a PS3 and the N64 and a Wii. Man, so I'll be playing like Smash 64 for an hour. I spend another hour playing GTA 4, and then I spend yet another hour playing Super Mario Galaxy or something like that. It was just freaking nice, bro. I mean, hell, I remember like one time I had an entire bowling tournament by myself on the Wii, like before school, and it was freaking, it was just lit as hell, man. Man, but the thing is, though, it would always be by myself, so it's not like I'd be able to play like 2-player games or whatever, in the morning, because again, I'd be the only person awake, even at 5 a.m. Well, except by 5 a.m., my dad would see me waking up, and as he would be leaving for work, and okay, so seeing me awake at 5 a.m., he's less likely to believe that he's less likely to think that I freaking stayed up to 5, because I mean, as a kid, I was not able to do something like that. Hell, waking up, like staying up to 3 a.m. was a challenge for me back then. But here I am, freaking being up at 5 in the morning on a normal basis. But but he walked past my room, and he see me being awake in the morning. He'd be just thinking I'm just like trying to show initiative, be better at my sleeping habits. And I mean, that was kind of the case, but for the most part, again, I just wanted to play games, man. Because here's the thing, though, because my bedtime was still at freaking 9 p.m. Like, man, coming home from school like at freaking 4. I only have 5 hours left before I have to freaking go to bed after school. So during that time, I had to eat dinner. I had to do my homework. I had to take a shower. I had to do all this freaking stuff before after school. And then freaking, and I was in martial arts too, back around this time too. So freaking so on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or sometimes Mondays and Wednesdays, I would have to so not all at 7 o'clock, from 7 to I think 8:30 or something like that. I'd be in karate class, freaking practicing my martial arts. And again, that's another hour of stuff that's another hour of something that's taken out of my personal time. Because because during because again, what I was describing earlier of the 5 hours I have left before dying after school, freaking again, I still had a little bit of time for myself, but man, I wanted more than just an hour to myself, though. An hour to just scroll on Facebook or playing video games or whatever. I mean, and then sure, there was Saturday and Sunday, where I could spend all day doing whatever I want. And there was summer vacation, but we're talking about the school year. And plus, Saturdays, like I said a couple of podcasts ago, some Saturdays I'll be hanging out with my Uncle Carlos doing filmmaker things, or freaking on Sundays, I'd be going to church, and I'll be freaking just lazy throughout the day, man. Or during high school, it's I'd be going to youth group. I'll be going to freaking I'll be going to this youth church and stuff like that. So my schedule was always pretty packed with school and church and stuff, and I barely had any time to just spend to myself, play games or watch shows or whatnot. I mean, except for the summertime. But again, the summertime only lasts for so long. So again, waking up super early. Hell, I'm sacrificing that little bit of sleep, that little bit of extra sleep that I could have before school. But in return, I'm giving myself an extra 3 hours, to do whatever I want. I mean, shoot, if I wanted to, I can read more stuff from the Bible. If I wanted to, I can play more Grand Theft Auto. If I wanted to, hell, I can eat more because waking up with an extra 3 hours for myself, man, there's some mornings where I'll be like, okay, I don't necessarily feel like playing a game or doing something today, but shoot, I can make myself a full-on gourmet breakfast. I mean, shoot, instead of making myself cereal or getting myself some Pop-Tarts, hell, I'll be making eggs, making bacon as well, some chorizo. Ooh, and then just making myself some breakfast tacos. Oh, it was so freaking nice, man. God, it was a real good time, especially whenever when my grandma got married for a little bit, and her well, who's now her ex-husband, but her husband at the time, man, he would be making freaking like all these breakfast tacos in the morning. God, it made me so glad to wake up early. He made some good food. Too bad they just weren't compatible. But anyways, man, like it was just a freaking wild time. I mean, of course, the whole waking up at freaking 5 in the morning thing. It didn't last forever. Because again, after that summer came, I originally wanted to continue waking up at 5 just so I can, just so I can, keep having all this extra time to myself. Because the thing was that during the summertime, I would want to sleep for most of the day, because again, with no limit on what time I could stay up and no limit of what time I had to wake up, shoot, I'm only except for like karate class or something, but other than that, I had no limits of when I had to be awake and when I had to, be asleep. So I would just be sleeping for most of the time, or at least I'd be sleeping until like freaking noon or something like that. And even then, a lot of times I'd, too, and during the summertime, I'd be freaking staying up to like freaking 3 in the morning, and then I'd be waking up at noon. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, I always felt like I didn't have enough time, I didn't spend enough time, doing things or whatever, or I could have had more time. So I thought, I could wake up at 5 then too. That didn't work out. Literally the first day of that following summer, it didn't work out because I stayed up to 3, and I'm like, do I really want to only have a 2-hour sleep? I know I don't have to go to school the next day, but do I really just want a 2-hour sleep? Maybe I shouldn't, do that. so there goes that idea. But during the school year, man, freaking, and I had some good times, playing video games. GTA 4, for example, one of my favorite games. Great story, and hell, most of that story I played in the mornings before school. Cause shoot, 3 hours for Grand Theft Auto. Hell, I can get a ton of little missions done. I can just play around, fiddle around, turn on the cheats, and just go all God mode. Man, it was just a fun time. But watching the stories before school, it would somewhat inspire me. Like I said in a couple podcasts ago, GTA 4 was ironically one of the things that actually made me want to be a filmmaker, because seeing how all 3 of the stories of 3 different protagonists have all the 3 stories interconnect with each other, and I saw that in GTA 4, and I remember seeing that in the morning before going to school, and going to school after seeing that morning, man, it just inspired me. I'm like, I want to do something like this for myself. I want to go to school, do my best out there, and so I can eventually, go to school for this stuff, and commit to my dream. No, of course, that didn't really go as planned, and I already did make my little interconnected story thing. But if I had, let's see, but give me the chance to make it again, and I definitely would make it again this time, a lot better. But I digress. I digress. It was some good times, some good stories. Even Assassin's Creed 3. Again, one of my top favorite games, actually. And God, I remember just playing this story. Because here's the thing, I've always been a fan of cinematic video games. Games with the story mode in which, pretty much it's like you're watching a movie and then having gameplay in between the scenes. Or sometimes the gameplay would be the scenes, and it was just great because I just love stuff like that, and especially having stuff like that, before school, it kind of just motivates me, for the rest of the day, because I'm like, man, I can't wait to see, what happens next and stuff. It was always exciting, it just made my mornings that much more exciting, and it gave me more time, to spend to myself, more time than I really kind of actually needed. Because hell, because again, with a busy schedule, I've always had to do things. My plate was pretty much always full, but giving myself those 3 extra hours really did help, to the maximum, man. And I'm so glad for that. I'm so freaking glad I decided to do that. Let's see, and although I didn't continue it in the summer very much, but during high school, I still kept the thing going for the most part. Like I would still wake up at 5. In high school, there was some more memories because again, I was playing GTA 5 this time around, and I definitely played a lot of that, like almost all of that freaking story. In the mornings before school, and man, like I'd play until I get to a certain part of the story, and then I'd be talking to my friends about it, at school, because we were almost like synced up of on what part we're on, and man, freaking like, and then too at around this time, my friend James, he and his mom started, they would pick me up, to take me to school, back in 9th grade, and so I'd be playing, once he and his mom came to pick me up, man, we talk to each other about the game, we give each other tips and cheat codes and stuff, and we just go on to school and go on with our day. Man, it was just a good time. There's something about waking up in the morning, gives me like. It just reminds me of all the good times I had, in game and outside of the game, man. It was just a really great time. Like, God, so much inspiration, so much motivation, so much great stories being told in the morning, and all because one day I decided, hey, I want to jerk off in the morning, and then it led to me thinking, what if I played video games this entire time? Yeah, shoot. I mean, actually, fun fact, actually, Assassin's Creed 3, because the game takes place, during the American Revolution. I remember playing a mission, a specific mission in that game, and then upon playing that specific mission, it actually helped me, on this American history test we were taking in the in American history class. I swear I do not have the corona, man. It was hilarious, but hey, got the job done. And so hey, sometimes waking up and playing video games really did help. Man. Anyways, shoot. Okay, yeah. So I had to clear my throat there. Anyways. So let's go back, to what I was saying earlier. Originally, I wanted to record my podcast at 10 p.m., when I initially woke up, because here's the thing, when I woke up, again, it was super dark outside, and then I noticed that despite it was 10 p.m., everybody downstairs was asleep. And here's the thing, for like the past 2 freaking months, despite everybody in the house being freaking normies, they'll be up at 7 and awake at 10. I mean, up at 7 and asleep by 10. For some reason, for the past 2 stinking months, they'd be staying up to freaking 1 and stuff. I'm like, huh? Why are you guys staying up so late? Don't you got work? I mean, and here's the funny thing. So my parents always complain about being tired after work. I get it. Okay. I mean, also I work too. So I get it. You come home from work and you're tired and stuff. But y'all obviously, then y'all are freaking but at the same time, y'all are freaking staying up to freaking 1 or 3, just watching Netflix and taking up my internet that I could be using for my anime, and then freaking you're going to bed and you're having to wake up at 7, and then and you come home and oh, I'm so tired. Let's watch Netflix until 3 a.m. so Chris can't watch his anime. Man, you guys suck. And then finally on the freaking day that I sleep late and wake up late, man, finally on that day, that's when you decide to freaking sleep early, man. And here's the thing, I don't really mind them too much. I don't really mind them too much, being awake and stuff. It's more because again, I don't even go downstairs anymore. So it's not like they what they do downstairs directly interferes with what I do upstairs. But the thing is that I prefer when I make these podcasts then play it safe. I want them to be in bed because I don't want anybody walking in on me disturbing the podcast. I don't want anybody. A lot of times I don't want anybody listening to what I have to say because the podcast, again, despite me making it public for anyone to hear on Spotify, it's a personal journal of mine, and knowing how they are, if they were to listen to some of the stuff that I talk about, they would just lecture me on pretty much everything. They would want to monitor everything I say, and it's just it's just a big boo boo, man. I don't have to deal with that. I don't want to have to deal with them being like, I don't approve of this. How dare you talk about masturbating? How dare you talk about something that's not Christian? Oh my freaking gosh! I can't believe that you're talking about this. We can't ground you, but we're gonna nag you to death. And it's so annoying, man. It's so annoying. They just can't shut up about things sometimes. God. And again, so I don't want them to know. I don't want anybody in my house knowing that I'm doing this podcast. I mean, I'll gladly tell everybody else in the world. Let's see. Well, maybe a few people from church, because I know a lot of the older people at church, freaking tend to talk to my parents a lot. So again, I'm kind of being careful about who I tell about the podcast to. But at the same time, I'm also trying to be very open on it, because again, I am very open on this. And here's the thing, I should be open with my parents and stuff, but then at the same time, every time I do try to be open, they either don't entirely listen, or they just accuse me of doing, they accuse me of doing certain things, or they just lecture me, and they don't try to actually help at all. And it really disturbs me, and it pisses me off. So I just came to this point to where I don't really talk to them very much. And again, because it's not like I don't want to talk to them. It's that, for the most part, they don't want to listen, and they don't want to actually help. Instead, if anything, they don't want to help me, when it comes to my situation, or when I want to be open about something. They don't want to help me. They just want to get their point across. And that's how they've always been. Hell, freaking back growing up as a kid, if I were to do something wrong, or if I were to get in trouble, they would never actually try to help me. What they would actually do instead is that they'll bring their point across, their whole opinions and views about something, and then they'll try to prove why they're right. They would never let me have a say in anything, and if I ever try saying anything, they'll be like, "No back talk. Why are you showing us disrespect?" And stuff like that. And a lot of times I'll be trying to simply question, why is it like this? Can you explain to me, why this is wrong, or why you are right? They'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I don't speak disrespect. How dare you question your communist authority," or some crap like that, man. God, it does suck, because sometimes they would actually help me, but most of the time those are trying to make themselves they'll try to find some way to make themselves righteous, man. And it's just heavily annoying, and it still continues on to this day, albeit not as bad, because there came a point to where, there came a point to where I got tired of being treated like a little kid. Because they would even still do this crap, even after I turned 18. Hell, my mom was especially bad about that. And so what I did was, I started what they call rebellion. So I started playing things by my own rules. I started making my own advice, and started following my own voice. And they'll be like, "How dare you do this? We don't like it whenever you're not like us. You have to be exactly picture perfect like us. How dare you do things differently? How dare you act differently? How dare you speak differently? How dare you dress yourself differently?" Ugh. And I'm over here saying, you know what? You're not always right. And you know what? I am my own person. I am an adult now. Maybe I may still be living under your roof, but hey, I'm not your little kid anymore. You can't just manipulate and control every little thing I do. Hell, you can try, but now that I'm actually standing up for myself, you can't. You can try to wrap me around your finger, but you just can't. And you know what? They know they can't, and it drives them absolutely nuts, that they can't. And so like, so they know that. I mean, I'm not gonna want to be a part of a lot of the things they do, and also by this point they know that, hey, they want to drag me to a freaking like family event, to a family that I barely even know anymore, and in hopes that we can reconnect and stuff like that. I mean, not with me, with them, but more so our family unit with the rest of our relatives. I mean, in the last podcast I kind of explained how, like, how distant we are, but here we are, I mean, it's kind of pointless and hopeless by this point, but anyways, they try to drag me to like either these family events or to these other weird events that like I am somehow part of, but have absolutely nothing to do with me. And I'm over here, saying, what, if it doesn't interest me, if it has nothing to do with me, I'm not gonna be a part of it. Or hell, or even if you are gonna drag me to something, and if I have to go, I'm bringing my own damn car, so I can just leave when I feel like it. And most of the time I do, because he's come to the point of where, hey, like they're like, okay, we're not gonna force you anymore. We're just gonna tell you we're doing something. If you want to come, you can come. And again, most of the time I don't come because that's not something I want to do. I don't want to go to some strange lady's baby shower just because she's your friend's of a friend's cousin's friends, like, and somehow I know them. No, I'm not doing that. You can't get me to go. Like, you're not gonna make me do something that I don't want to do. And they realize that I think that that's the new thing now. You can't bring me to do things that I don't want to do. And shoot, so I mean, there's freaking that. So anyways, let's see. I actually forgot. I reviewed the recording. So I reviewed the recording before going back to recording here. It is actually 3:34 a.m. Now with this part of the recording here. So if you're listening to this on the Anchor app, let's see, the last chunk is going to be called A, and this is going to be called B, because again, why the hell not? But anyways, shoot. So yeah. So after I realized that I hit the freaking end record button, I got pissed. I went to bed. I woke up and went to work. And shoot. So now at work, we have to wear these. We have to wear these face masks because it's just a mandatory thing now. We got to protect ourselves from the COVID thing, and that's fine and all, but I mean, I don't care what anybody says, and it looks like everybody's got the same idea, even the managers. Like, as soon as the store closes, I'm taking that damn mask off, because there is no point to me wearing a freaking mask at work if there's no customers to be worried about. And plus, you got to get tested. You have to get pretty much kind of screened and tested before you can even come into the building to clock in. So so I really don't have anything to worry about. Now there is the possibility that, what if someone sneezes or coughs on something, and now the corona is in the store, but we just don't know it. Whatever. If it happens, it happens. I'll just go ahead and take a bunch of Dayquil or whatever. I mean, hell, it's a freaking string of the flu, and like the flu, I'll just treat it accordingly. As simple as that. I'm not scared of it. Hell, get challenged me to a fight, and I may or may not win, but I won't be scared to take on that challenge. Anyways, so adding on to the conversation that I had, so God, I remember there's so many like weird events like my freaking parents would like drag me to again. So it wouldn't just be baby showers of like just weird people that my mom knew from work and stuff. That's for some reason I had to be dragged to. Like it would suck because like, you know, it'd be a Saturday and I'm like, man, you know, it's a good Saturday. No, I finally have all this time to play, you know, to play my games or to watch my shows, or I can even just sleep all day. You know, I'm just gonna be chilling all day. It's gonna be great. And then freaking one of my parents would freaking walk into my door and be like, hey, you need to get dressed, we need to go now. And I'm like, huh, where are we going? And they're like, that's none of your business, we need to go now. And I'm like, huh, if I'm going, it is my business. Well, I never said that because I didn't want to get yelled at and stuff, because shoot, I mean, they don't respond nicely to simple questions. But anyways, so again, it wouldn't be just freaking baby showers. It would be like little kid parties. And I remember this one where literally I did not know a single person there. Not even my dad knew any single person there. My mom knew like one lady, and like she just like she was invited to, you know, to her friend's son's like 5th birthday party or something like that. So here I am, you know, with the family. I mean, at least there was free food there, you know. At least there was free cake and food, you know. So I enjoyed that. But again, first of all, I don't like being dragged into things, especially if I don't want to be there. But it only makes it worse when I'm around like complete freaking strangers. Complete freaking strangers, and I don't know anybody, and I'm an introvert, so it's kind of hard for me to, you know, want to, you know, get to know people. And a lot of the times, freaking, there'll be nothing but like middle-aged people getting drunk, or old ladies freaking bashing the drunkers, going, you sinners, or sometimes they'd be joining in, or sometimes freaking or most of the time it would be just like freaking a bunch of little kids running around jumping on the freaking bouncy house. And I'm gonna go off on another tangent here, because here's the thing I noticed. Okay, so I'm Hispanic, and naturally, you know, me and my family, we would go to a lot of Hispanic, you know, parties, a lot of Hispanic events and stuff. And it doesn't matter if it's a baby shower, it doesn't matter if it's a birthday party, if it's a house party, if it's a freaking weekend, you know, get together, a family reunion, a freaking funeral. It doesn't matter what the hell it is. There's always a freaking bouncy house, and no matter what. And I'm not sure if it's just the Mexicans or the Hispanics that do this, but no matter what, every time we went over to somebody's place, there was always a freaking bouncy house. And my buddy Eric can vouch for me, because he sees this a lot too. And you know, he's over there in freaking California. Well, I mean, not anymore, he's in New York now, but even then, like, there's always a stinking bouncy house. And freaking, when we moved here to this new place, there was like every single weekend, every single freaking Saturday, the neighbors would always have a freaking bouncy house. The only thing was they weren't Hispanic, but anyways, that's beside the point. No matter whose party we went to, no matter what the event was, even I remember this one event where like literally we were just watching the UFC fight between Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. Like, there was literally a bouncy house in the front. There was no reason to put a bouncy house in the front. They just, it's like a required thing if you're Hispanic. I'm not sure, like, what's the deal with that. But anyways, you know, where bouncy houses are, you know, there's a bunch of little kids running around, or just a bunch of kids, you know, trying to freaking bop their heads together in that bouncy house. Freaking bouncy houses. You show me a bouncy house, I'm gonna freak out. but anyways, actually, that reminds me of this one little thing I used to do as a kid, because again, like, seeing bouncy houses everywhere, I mean, I used to, like, I liked them for a while, but then it just kind of got annoying because I would always see them no matter what, and a lot of times it just never made sense why they were there. They were just there, and for some reason it really pissed me off that they, like, just the presence of a bouncy house, or moonwalks as other people will call them. So freaking what I would do as a prank is I would go behind the bouncy house where that freaking air thing is to keep it all aired up, and I would just turn it off. I would turn it off and just and I would watch all the freaking oh man, I'm laughing way too damn much at this. It's probably not funny to somebody else, but it's funny to me. God, so I would turn off the little fan thing, and then I would just laugh, like I would be dying of laughter seeing all the kids freaking like scream bloody murder as the bouncy house is deflating, and they're like, everybody get out. Oh man. Oh god, I don't know why I'm laughing at this so damn much. It's not even that funny in retrospect, but for some reason I still find it funny today. Damn, like oh man. I really hated bouncy houses, and for some reason I still do, but God, so I used to pull pranks like that. I would never actually get in trouble for it. Like people will just get annoyed and just find some excuse to get me inside the house. And that's the thing. To all these freaking parties I would get dragged into. Like, I mean, literally the bouncy house would be like the most interesting thing there. I mean, okay, so when I was older, yeah, I mean there were crawfish parties and stuff. Okay, so so when it came to crawfish, because as you may or may not know, crawfish is my absolute #1 favorite food in the universe. Freaking above everything, crawfish is my favorite food, and you bring me to a freaking crawfish boil, I don't care if it's at a complete stranger's house, I don't care if I know anybody there, I'm going, because hey, crawfish is crawfish, free crawfish is crawfish. And God, you know, this actually makes me kind of sad because I still hadn't had any crawfish, and it's been freaking 2 years. But anyways, God, shoot, like man, I miss crawfish now. But anyways, yeah, but crawfish bowls, man, God, even at crawfish bowls, freaking bouncy houses. So so now I remember I hopped back onto my train of thought. So as I got older, I went to, I would go to freaking crawfish boils and all that, and there was stuff to do, and sometimes family events, I talk to some of the family members, but most of the time they'll be too busy, getting drunk or getting stoned or whatever, or freaking watch the Cowboys game, or something. So for some reason, and again, I see this like every time we get every freaking family event, it doesn't matter what day it is, it's mostly Saturdays, and it doesn't matter like what's the occasion. Again, even a freaking funeral, like shoot, there was like, so not only would there always be a bouncy house outside, but there would always be a football game playing. It doesn't even matter if it's a Texas team or not, it's always a damn football game, and all the freaking dudes are inside freaking screaming their butts out, going, oh, he didn't make the pass, oh yeah, look at him go, touchdown, and God, and no matter what, there was always a football game on, and they would always be freaking getting drunk and pounding each other, be like, oh yeah, my team's winning, no, your team sucks. Even if it's not a freaking Texas team, like shoot, most of the time it was the Cowboys team, because for some reason a lot of people in my family who originate from Houston root for the Cowboys, but I don't know, to each their own, I guess. But anyways, but damn, like, and again, I'm not really a big fan of, I'm a fan of playing sports, I'm just not a fan of watching sports, so don't think I'm a Texans fan or anything like that. But anyways, like, damn, like, so there would always be a football game, there would always be a bunch of drunk people, there would always be some people doing weed or something, like, or speed or something in the freaking backyard, there would always be a bouncy house, there would always be Little Caesars pizza, there would always be some freaking Mexican music blasting in the front, and and get this too, there would always be someone playing pool. Because that's another thing, everywhere we went there was always a pool table, someone was always playing pool. Well, except for a couple of cases where they didn't have pool tables, but anyways, God, but 90% of the time there was always a freaking pool table. Like, oh my god, like it's like there's a stereotype for the typical Hispanic freaking get together, a party, whatever you want to call it. Man, I've seen them all, and they all freaking appear in every single freaking party, and it's freaking nuts. It's freaking nuts, man. Alright, so back to the original train of thought. So yeah, so I mean, so I'd get dragged to all these weird people's places, and so again, so let me get back to what I was saying. So again, there would always be a bunch of drunk middle-aged people. There would always be a bunch of old ladies freaking like talking about you know, religious stuff, or they'd be bashing everybody, be like, how dare you get drunk, you sinner, you know, and stuff like that. And in my head I'll be like, why the hell are you here? But then and then like, if not, you know, if not that, or along with that, freaking, there will always be a bunch of little kids running around. Like, I mean, when I was a little kid myself, yeah, I mean, there was plenty of freaking, I had plenty of people to talk to, the little kids, because I was a little kid myself. But I mean, as I grew older, like especially going on to my preteen and early teen years, like, again, like even like my freaking best cousins at the time, like, you know, like they would never be available to speak, because they would either invite their friends to the, you know, to the party as well, and then they would all just hang out, you know, in their, you know, in their room. I would try to go on, but they would be like, oh no, and they would kick me out. I'm guessing even to them I was kind of like the black sheep of the family. But anyways, shoot, so that's kind of sad when you think about it. Actually, even my best cousins didn't like me. But well, actually, Mom, I'm saying even, like, if like if I'm saying nobody liked me, but you know what I mean. Even when my best cousins don't like me, man, it freaking sucked. But anyways, so the only people my age there, or at least close to my age, would be freaking again, my cousins, but they would have their friends over, and they would always be hanging out in the room, and I wouldn't be allowed in there. They're probably doing stuff they weren't supposed to do, but let's see, if not that, shoot, really, aside from the cousins, and either they would be their friends, or they would literally find some excuse to leave the house, like the most common excuse my cousins would use, would be, oh, I'm going to the gas station, you know, to pick up some snacks, or to pick up more beer, or to pick up or to pick up some more sodas, or they would always be going to the store doing something, and then they wouldn't come back until like maybe freaking 5 hours later, and nobody ever asked them what they were doing. It was just assumed that, well, they were out in the store, you know. I mean, they came back with the drinks, didn't they? Whatever. I mean, it's not like I really cared. Well, I mean, it kind of pissed me off, because again, I could have had someone to talk to. I could have had someone to freaking relate to. And that's the thing, you know. It makes it a lot easier when there's people your age, you know, you can talk to. And I mean, sure, and with a lot of things, with all like the parties and stuff that I was dragged into, with me being surrounded by people who I didn't know, like for real, man, like like, shoot, I didn't like the fact I was like, I wouldn't be around people my age. I would always be around the stereotype people. And the other thing is that, like, if there were people my age, freaking, like, I don't know, they would always seem like very shady. Like, freaking, they wouldn't be, they would always be like, I mean, either not intimidating, but they would always be like, I would know, like, I would get a bad vibe, you know, just by looking at them. So I wouldn't really want to, you know, go any closer to their presence, or you know, or something like that. And actually, though, there were a couple of exceptions. Like this one time where my parents forced me to go with my sister to her boyfriend's, like, I don't know, her boyfriend had some party that he was going to. It was a relative's party. It was some little kid's birthday party. So I was forced to go, because the deal was she wasn't allowed to go, just her and her boyfriend. No, I had to go too, and it sucked because, you know, I mean, okay, I get why, but again, though, like, I mean, again, but when you think about it, it seems kind of weird. What, like, she like we told not even my sister knows these freaking people. So like why is you know, her boyfriend inviting her to this party? You already know what they were planning, but and so I'm guessing that's why my parents forced me to go with her. Okay, so that's at least that's reasonable. But anyways, freaking. So I went there, and all the same stereotypes. There was barbecue, there was a bouncy house, someone's blasting Mexican music out the freaking garage, there was a pool table, there was a bunch of drunk middle-aged people, there was, you know, there were the old religious grannies inside, there was a freaking kids movie being played inside, and that's the thing. The stereotype goes that it's either a football game or it's a freaking little kids movie. It's one or the other. There are a bunch of little kids running around, and they're like. And surprisingly, there were people my age, you know, at that party. But you know, and I didn't get a bad vibe from them. But still, being the introvert I was, and me being very shy and just like I don't know, just introverted around people. I didn't really want to talk. So for the first half of the, you know, me being there, I just scrolled on Facebook, you know, looking at memes or whatever. But the thing was that freaking I heard a PlayStation 4 beep, and I saw them load up a freaking fighting game, and you know what? I went straight for the PS4. And damn, like, and so like in very rare cases, or at least from my experience, very rare cases, one big party stereotype would be that there would always be that one kid, well, you know, with a game console playing a fighting game, and that's where all like the older, cooler kids would be, and so like, I mean, the only people my age are close to my age. Or my sister and her boyfriend, but then you know, there were some like older kids there who, you know, who weren't the little ones running around being in the bouncy house and all, but see, I mean, I think they were probably like freaking 14 or something like that. But I mean, shoot. But I mean, I heard that PS4 on, and they were playing this fighting game. I think it was like Marvel vs. Capcom. And damn, I love Marvel vs. Capcom. Well, I mean, I say that, but I've only played the original arcade version. So for playing this PS4 version, I saw all these different characters, that I'd never seen before. I didn't think they would add it to the game, and so freaking. So again, all the freaking like freaking 15 to 20-year-olds, you know, gathered in that room around that PS4, and we had a freaking tournament, man. So okay, so in that case, I actually enjoyed myself because I not only did I find people close to my age at least, but we also had something, you know, in common that we liked, something that we could do. Freaking, it was to play a freaking fighting game, and again, in my experience, that's like a rare case. You know, that's a rare stereotype. Freaking for these kind of parties, because man, like, if it's not Marvel vs. Capcom, it's like Mortal Kombat or Super Smash Brothers, or it's freaking like Street Fighter, or it's always some kind of a party fighting game, or it's just some kind of fighting game period. And man, you know, you already know us freaking 15 to 20-year-old male or 20-something-year-old males, you know, we gathering around, you know, trying to you know, duke it out in a video game. Man, oh shoot! Or sometimes if it's not a fighting game, it's a freaking like first-person shooter. And again, I mean, I'm not too gonna admit I'm not too good at those. I mean, I used to be somewhat decent, but after not playing them for 7 years and me finally getting a PS4 and then getting the new Modern Warfare, yeah, I realized that now I suck even more than I did last time. But anyways, let's see. So back to the whole party stereotypes, man. So God, like, I would get dragged to all these damn parties. And here's the thing, like, I'd be just surrounded by all these weird people who I didn't know, and you know, I had no like interest in speaking to them or whatever. And the very few cases where there were people my age there, again, I would just get too bad of vibes from them to even want to approach them, or freaking like, or they just wouldn't be there, or there were none, or freaking like, I don't know, they'd be playing a video game, and in that case, you know, I'd be joining in too. But Here's the thing. Every time I was freaking dragged to one of those freaking Mexican family events, or with Mexican families who I don't even know, man, like, you know, and I would always hope, and it's a lot of times in vain, that freaking because here's the thing, with almost all these things I was dragged into, I was not related to any of these people. I had no personal relationship, blood or anything to these people. So from what I knew and from what I can clearly see, I was not related to them. We were different blood. So I crossed my fingers and always hoped in vain, in order to try to get these, to make my situation better, by hoping that there was a cute Mexican girl there. I don't care if she barely speaks English, man. I just want a cute girl to talk to, because I may be introverted, I may be shy when it comes to the female species, but man, like, if I could just find myself a freaking cute Mexican girl who I don't know and she don't know me, man, I can try to play it cool. I mean, she probably goes to a different school and all, but man, like, I could try to score a date with her, man. I could try to, wiggle myself in there, yeah, like, try, do the cha-cha slide, you know what I'm saying, man, like, but that would never freaking happen. But there was this one time, and I swear, this one time where I did see this very, very cute freaking Mexican girl at this one event that I was dragged to, and man, like, God, I was so close to asking her out. But you want to know what happened? You want to know what freaking happened? Her boyfriend showed up with the pizza. And God, I was so close to bawling my eyes out. Like, I didn't want to be there no more, because, like, my only ray of sunshine diminished. My only ray of freaking sunshine, man. Oh, I was so freaking saddened, man. God. So I mean, these days I'm not freaking forced to go to these things anymore. They usually get someone else to do it, or they just give up and realize that, hey, I'm not gonna go. I mean, I'm not gonna let you force me to go to these places no more. And if I must give you the feeling that you did, I'm bringing my car, and then I'm probably gonna spend like 5 minutes over there. I'm gonna drive back home or something. Because I'm like that Ghetto Boys album. I can't be stopped. Shoot. So that was that pretty much wraps up for this, like, half the cast, man. Like, so I guess so thank you for making it this far, and thank you for bearing with me, because again, I've been wanting to make these casts a daily thing, but things don't always turn out the way you want you to, and hey, but you know what, though, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. And you know what? Here's the thing. You know how, like, in part A of this cast, I said that I freaking stayed up. I stayed up from, because it was a Sunday and I had to wake up for online church. I stayed up from I woke up at freaking 10 a.m. and I stayed up all the way to 2 p.m. the next day. I didn't go to bed till 2 p.m. actually. And then I didn't wake up till 10 p.m. and then by the time I made the podcast, it was already like freaking almost 8 a.m. man. God, and I actually, by the time I went to bed after recording the first part of the podcast, I was, man, damn, like, it was like 9. It was freaking 9, man. And I had to wake up at 1, or actually I wanted to leave the house by 1, but I didn't end up waking up till like freaking 1:20 or something. Man, but you know what? The good news is that now my sleep schedule, it went to a very bizarre and weird extremes, but now it's all back to normal, and I'm gonna go and probably like in a couple of hours at 6 a.m. I'm gonna go to bed, just so I can maintain my my normal schedule again. So damn, and I work, golly, like I cannot. I went beast mode today at work, so I'm all sweaty. And that damn mask didn't make it any better, so now I gotta make sure I wash my face before freaking my pimples grow again. So, anyways, thank you for making it this far. Thank you for listening to what I had to say. You know, thank you for listening to both parts. Thank you for just you know, sticking around, you know, for season 2 here. So this is the part where I say, you know what? Have a good one. This is your boy Asiago on 3AM Thoughts. Have a good one.